The following video is sponsored by HadesgamingPL. Ravioli, ravioli, give me the formioli. Welcome back to Can I Has Buff, the Warframe series that puts older or weaker weapons under the spotlight, highlighting their issues and offering buffs to improve them to make them fit with the current game. In this episode, we will be taking a look at the Flux rifle, a slash-based beam weapon manufactured and used by the Corpus. The Flux rifle was introduced way back in Update 8, Rise of the Warlords, on May 23, 2013. This update introduced Clantech research which, among other things, included the new Flux rifle weapon. The Flux rifle is a physical damage-based continuous weapon which focuses mostly on slash damage. As such, the damage and status chance listed is per second, making the damage fluctuate when hitting an enemy directly, as well as the status being inconsistent. Since 100% status per second essentially means that you will get at least one proc in 1 second, you will have plenty of ticks of damage that do not proc, which is the major disadvantage of continuous weapons in Warframe. The player can utilize the Flux Overdrive mod to increase the status chance for every 5 seconds the beam is held on an enemy, which can improve the chance for said procs, although the mod is generally useless for general use. The beam also has a range limit, but this can be increased by Sinister Reach to extend the beam by another 12 meters at the cost of using up a slot that you would have had for much needed damage. The damage of the weapon is good against Infested, who generally have a slight weakness to slash damage, and it is somewhat good against the Corpus themselves due to them not having any armor, but it falls off alarmingly quickly against Grineer enemies due to slash having a reduction in damage to both ferrite and alloy armor types. Even when modding for corrosive damage, the status is not consistent enough nor fast enough to reliably strip armor, so generally virulent radiation or even radiation and toxin to attack both armor types is the best option, since you will still get at least one proc per second, which benefits non-stacking procs better. While having a large magazine, the fire rate of the weapon is high and burns through ammo extremely fast, especially when dealing with high-level Grineer, which need more punishment to take down. This is made exceedingly worse if the player chooses to boost the status per second with fire rate, as the mild increase in the chance to proc more than one status proc a second results in a very high increase in ammo consumption. With that out of the way, let's talk about buffing the Flux rifle. Similar to my suggestion I made for the Spectra a while back in the series, I feel that the Flux rifle should proc slash and heat for every second that the weapon is fired, regardless of the actual status chance. Due to the beam supposedly being made of an energy beam, this would most likely mean it's made of a superheated gas, plasma, or even a laser, which would all result in heat procs as the beam burns that spot on the enemy. The guaranteed slash proc would also let it tackle armor a bit better, as slash procs themselves ignore armor. It would still do the same low damage, but this buff would give it more utility. The Flux rifle appears to have something in the center of the gun that, to me, looks like it would be some sort of coil of wire inside, which was amplifying the power of the energy cells used for ammunition. My suggestion is to give the Flux rifle an alt fire, which switches to this mode when tapping the alt fire button. Instead of firing a constant beam of energy for as long as the trigger is held, the weapon instead charges up 10 ammo over the course of about 1.5 seconds, which discharges a thick hit scan beam that deals a single burst of damage equal to the 10 ammo that was used up. In addition, the critical chance of this beam is increased to 15% and the crit damage to 250%. However, the status chance will be lowered to 15% for the shot as well. This would allow the weapon to have a slower but more powerful mode to counter heavy armor or simply higher level enemies. So that's the Flux rifle, a slash-based beam weapon that ironically functions better against the Corpus who made it. What do you think of the Flux rifle? Do you also think the weapon needs a buff, and if so, were my buff suggestions good ideas? In any case, thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next installment of Can I Has Buff.